Welcome back to Twisted Builds podcast. Today I got one of my best friends here, Darren.
Hi, I'm Darren. I don't really have anything to do with the automotive industry, but here we are.
Yeah, we've been friends since high school. I actually been waiting to do this episode of the podcast, which I know I'm a terrible podcaster and haven't put up an episode in quite some time. But I've been trying to get with Darren. His and my lives are pretty crazy.
Yeah.
So I wanted to get to the point where we could get together and do this episode. But I'm not dead yet.
We're working on it.
Something like that. But no, I haven't posted, this is going to go up on YouTube and also my podcast. I haven't posted anything on my YouTube channel since January, and I do realize that, so I do apologize. It's been crazy. Not with the Twisted Build stuff, but with me personally, I've been working with Fulson Diesel on a CAN bus project for their 21 Dodge Ram, and that has taken literally all of my time. So that's why I haven't been having a life lately. So
Yeah, better you than me.
Yeah.
That stuff is all Greek to me.
yeah, it's crazy. I knew a lot of what I used, or like a lot of the information I knew going into the project, but there was a lot I learned during it as well. Which, when you're pushing yourself on a 21 Dodge Ram to get the thing to work without the factory equipment, you're going to learn quite a bit about how that vehicle works and CAN bus strategy and stuff like that. So, but yeah, so as I said, not dead yet. Oh man, we have if this podcast is a little iffy or whatever, it's just because we're just having a conversation. We have no topics, no discussion. There's no planned out discussion.
We're just going for it.
We both haven't caught up in a while, but yeah, so been doing that. I had a couple of questions I know that I've memorized from a couple of guys. I made a Facebook post a couple of weeks back about I was going to do a podcast. What people's questions were. One of them was talking more about CAN bus strategy and how it worked. And I also hinted about me and a buddy of mine are going to be bringing a product to market. So the CAN bus like we're using in this 21 Ram is CAN bus 2OB. I'm also working on the FD CAN bus stuff. Long story short, me and Sky Schmidt are working on, he and I both coded a Windows program to work with our hardware to reverse engineer CAN bus networks for people. So the plan is, this is the first time Darren's hearing about it, by the way. So our plan is to bring this to market, bring a hardware, pretty much, think of it kind of like a scan tool except for CAN bus reverse engineering, all right? You hook it up, the two wires up to the active CAN bus network, and you can monitor live data and everything of the sort and kind of reverse engineer what's going on with it. The plan is to sell the hardware and also sell online training courses through Vimeo. So you'll be able to buy a whole package of what I did to reverse engineer this 21 Ram. And we're actively working right now on the software for the 2OB CAN bus strategy. We're also going to bring in the FD CAN bus, which is the new ones, which is the flexible data, like your 22 and newer vehicles, for the most part, 21 and newer stuff runs. So we've got that going on with the business. And I know more people wanted to hear me talk more about how CAN bus stuff works. I will probably make a podcast on my own, and I'll go into that more in detail. I do want to try to get this going again. I'm a terrible podcaster. We both listen to the Customer States podcast like every week, and they're great at it.
Yeah,
Hi, Mike, if you're listening.
Yeah.
but yeah, I'm terrible at it. So I do plan on making a podcast, bringing more information about that to light, maybe get Sky on as well. We can go into some old time stories.
Going all the way back to 4-cylinder pickup truck days
or the Ninja 4-wheeler. We got.
I could talk for days on that.
Well, okay. That would be a good one to talk about. So we don't have it here. It's at your house.
At my house.
Your house. So let's start with the Ninja.
So I picked up a 95 Ninja for like $600, and didn't realize how sketchy the deal was until after I got it home, and determined that the best course of action was to just
Use
strip
it for parts.
Just strip it and
Yep.
forget that the motorcycle itself ever existed. So I had this 4-cylinder sitting here with nothing to put it in, and that bothered me. So I found a 99 400EX Honda, and with a lot of help from Dale with fabrication.
Me and my dad both. Yeah.
I mean, fabrication, wiring, you name it. Before you know it, I had a 4-wheeler that was essentially attempted suicide. So
600 Ninja motor, right? It was,
yeah, Kawasaki motor and a Honda
Yep.
4-wheeler.
Oh, that
And-
thing would do wicked burnouts.
Yeah,
Maybe I'll insert a video here of me doing a burnout right over there in my dad's garage. But that thing's awesome.
The number of people that told me it couldn't be done, and I told them I have a torch and a welder, I'm unstoppable. And before you know it, I'm ripping around the field, doing burnouts and donuts in the garage, and
That's what we live on, though. Like, literally, you and I both, we've been told so many times that, oh, you can't do that. It's like, yeah, watch me.
yeah, never tell a redneck something can't be done.
Because
That's
we'll
rule
do it
number
just
one.
to piss you off.
Yep. I mean, I personally thrive on spite, so
Kind of like back when me and my dad put Super Cub together. We put a 4.3 V6 in a Cub Cadet just because we had a customer back in my parents' old garage that said we couldn't do it.
yeah,
Like, screw you, watch us.
absolute insanity is
What
just
we do.
the exact definition of both of these projects.
Darren is one of the reasons why Twisted Builds is a thing. And I'm sure you probably know this. We started not a podcast. We
forum.
started a forum together.
Yep.
Forums died, pretty much. They're still around, but for the most part, forums are dead.
Yeah.
And because Facebook groups and everything kind of took that over. But right at the tail end of the forum craze, we started twistedbuilds.com as a forum that I self-hosted and everything. It didn't take off.
No, and it's now restructured to Dale's
My
business page.
Mainly, like, you came up with the idea, like the Twisted Builds name, because he and I were bouncing names off each other, and that one stuck. So we did that as the forum, and I was like, I already have the domain name, and yeah, domain names are cheap. But I was like, I like the name, so with your permission, I ran with it.
Yeah, I
And-
mean, I wasn't going to do anything with it. I am not the technical guy that Dale is.
But yeah, so that's how, I mean, Darren's literally the reason. Like, Matt Happel got the business off the ground with the Simple Dollar Boost stuff, but Darren was where the name came from. So,
And that was, what, 8 years ago, 9
I
years
wouldn't
ago?
go that far back.
I would-
Maybe. Honestly,
It wasn't long after high school. You had just
Yeah.
graduated college.
I forget how long it's been.
Oh, making me feel old.
And me too. We've done a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
Life's gone a long ways. I mean, I moved out of area. I'm not from the area anymore. Or I'm from the area. I just don't live in the area anymore. But we still try to get together and hang out and
Yep.
do.
a couple, 3 times a year.
Yep. And still message and everything. But right now, so you know about the Full Send project because that's been
Yep.
my life lately. I've got the S10 and I have a lot of messages about S10 progress. I'm like, I did work on it for about a week this summer. I took a week off. I had a paid week vacation from work. It was either use it or lose it. So I had kind of a staycation. And I took my family to like aquarium and whatnot. Excuse me, an aquarium and whatnot. But after that, it was S10 progress. So the front of the S10's, I would say 85 to 90% done. I've got to do some gusset work to it. I don't even know if I posted any photos or anything about it, but literally the front suspension on that truck's about done. I got to gusset work. I got to do the crossbar for like the drag link for the front suspension or front steering. And after that, the front suspension is done, and it's just the rest of the build. But it's one of those builds I'm proud. Like even the Firebird was just a junk, cheap thrills build, and the S10 is one I'm going to be very proud of. So it's taking longer. So because of that, I had a little downtime on the Full Send Diesel project, maybe a month ago, back in October, I guess. Where I was waiting for parts to come in. Like, I got the PCB design done, and I was waiting for parts to come in. So I got the engine running again. 2.5 years, the thing sat with ethanol or E85 fuel in it. Never flushed it like I was supposed to. Never ran gas through it. Nothing like it. Just had E85 in it. I was fully expecting that engine, like I was going to have to redo the whole fuel system. Probably fuel injectors, the whole shebang. I was going to have to flush it out, clean it out, do whatever. The computer was an old Speedway computer, which I'm going to go back to Megasquirt. That's a long story. But regardless, I put the Speedway computer back together with spare parts I had, flashed the old tune into it. 2.5 like cranks, that thing fired right up. I was shocked. The thing ran great. I ended up taking the car out and doing a nice big old burnout with it, and then parked it because the motor really sounded bad at that point. Took the motor out, and yeah, I spun number 1 connecting rod bearing. So I have a spare 5.3 in my basement that's about ready to go. But I'm getting it like, I'm not allowed to take the car back to the track at its current trim because it's too fast. So that car, for anyone that has known me since my S10 build, what I started with was I was a newlywed. We just got a house. I had a job that didn't pay very good at the time. I had no money. So the business was taking off, but I wasn't making enough money to, like, I was reinvesting into the business. I wasn't able to put a pile of money into the Firebird. So that was, and it was also just a cheap thrills car. So I wanted to see how cheap I could do the car and get kicked out of a drag strip for going too fast with no safety equipment. So there was $4,000 into that car, and that's including purchasing the car. So it was like just under $4,000. Car went 1097 at 130 mile an hour at Beaver Springs, which the high ETs, because it's a factory stall converter, I couldn't leave the line. The thing just, even with 100 shot of nitrous, literally right out of the hole. The thing, which cut 0.4 of a second off a 60-foot time. I went from a 2.2 to a 1.8. But, so, because I was hitting it with 100 shot at 1,700 RPM just to get the thing to move. But I was asked to slow the car down. So after that night of racing, so it's no fun slow. It just isn't, and it's one of those things. I need seat time for like drifting, because I'm gonna be, the S10's a proud build. Like that one, I wouldn't say show car quality, but it's gonna be very, very nice by the time I'm done. I haven't had a build where it's just like as clean as I can do it. So
Yeah.
you know what I mean. So
Yeah, the Trans Am is totally sponsored by the local junkyards.
yes, 100%. So I'm up north visiting my family this weekend, and my dad had a Saginaw 3-speed, which is a bad idea, and I'm going to do it anyway. So
That's what we thrive on, is bad ideas and trying to make it work. So
I posted, I'm one of the admin, this is news to him now, I'm one of the admins on the public sloppy group. So,
oh, really?
Yeah, so Matt made me an admin. I've been an admin on the private group now for a couple of years, and now I'm an admin on the public group. So I made a post on the public group about, hey, does anyone have any experience with these? I got mixed reviews, but I'm going to give it a go. I was kind of the one that, I wasn't the first one to decap injectors, but I was the one that helped make it famous.
Yeah.
Because everyone thought I was going to blow my LS up decapping the truck injectors. And I was the one that got Matt turned on to it and getting it going.
and
So
just look at it now. I mean,
yeah,
you've got
literally, it's
Eric
international.
Eric Durr has made an entire business
Out of it.
just decapping and flow testing and
he
cleaning.
quit his day job, and that's all he does now,
Yep.
which is awesome. I support Eric Durr 100%. But needless to say, I know it's not the greatest idea, but there's no proof one way or the other if it's going to hold up. So I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
I already priced the rebuild kit for that thing. It's $50.
Cheap thrills.
So
That's
exactly
what it's all about. It's
So,
cheap thrills.
The Firebird engine's going to go together with a new. I had the welded up pan and stuff in it. I'm kind of wondering if that's not what killed the motor. I never had an oil pressure gauge on it, so it's going to get one now. But my guess is I didn't do the pickup correctly because it was a cut down truck pan. And I'm wondering if I had the pickup too close to the bottom of the pan. So I'm fixing all that with the new motor, and it's going to get that manual. So I can get a T5 belt, like a QuickTime T5 blow-proof bell housing, so in case I cut the clutch up or the clutch explodes or anything.
It's not coming through the floor.
It's not going to come up through my legs.
Yeah.
I'm also going to do, I'm going to make a sheet metal. It'll probably be like 3/16 thick or something like that, housing around that transmission just in case it were to grenade. I like my legs.
Yeah. Keep it contained.
Yeah. But
It may be sloppy, but safety.
yeah. I'm going to rebuild the thing, just do bearing seals, gaskets, make sure everything's good. And I also want to get the gear ratios out of it. From what I'm seeing on the numbers on the case, it's actually pretty close to the 4L80E that's in there. Because the 4L80E, yes, it had overdrive, but first, second, and third is really the only 3 gears I used because I didn't put power to that thing in overdrive. It was just for cruising around.
Yeah.
But it's pretty close to what's in there, so I'm thinking it should work pretty well for what I want to do with it, which is I'm going to get 2 more brake caliper brackets for the rear and go 4 caliper brackets in the rear for handbrake, and I'm probably going to cut the knuckles down on the front to get the steering angle I want out of it, and then put that manual in it and go drifting with it next year.
Yeah.
Get some seat time with it.
That's you got to have the seat time before you go out in your
Yeah.
nice truck.
So that, because a part of me is like, the Firebird's straight and clean and whatever, and I know the prices of those Firebirds are coming up, but I also hacked it all up whenever I did the original build, so it doesn't, like, I do miss driving it, so I'm going to do it this way, and we're going to get into drifting with it, so I think that'll be fun. But yeah, so that's mainly been for anyone who thought I dropped off the face of the earth, because I kind of did. I've just been busy.
Full Send Diesel has had all of your spare time.
Yeah, and again, that's not through Twisted Builds. That's just me and him working personally. But yeah, it's taken a lot of time, and I've learned a pile from it. So I learned about everything in and out about CAN bus I could ever want to know, and which is awesome because I'm currently in talks with Brandon Furches, Furches Speed. He has LS4 Keen as well. Where right now he's going through a medical procedure. So I hopefully you get better soon after you get done with that. And hopefully everything goes through good. But once he is back to where he can be for back to work, we're probably going to integrate a Holly Terminator X to a 2006 Mercedes-Benz E-Series sedan. And
Because you can.
because I can, and make all the factory electronics work. So, I'll see how much info I can post about that. I know that that little bit I can talk about, but yeah. So there's a lot of that and the CAN bus stuff I'm bringing to market. The simple dollar boost is probably going to start coming off the market soon, which it hasn't been selling a lot lately. Everyone's going Terminator X that has boost control on board.
Yep.
So I have a advanced dollar boost that I've been working on that still might come to market, but so many of the engine management systems that people are going with anymore have boost control on board. So you do have your blow-through guys that still use a carburetor that want boost control, but it's getting to the point where it's not making a lot of sense for me to put a bunch of time into that market for how little of a return I'm going to get out of it. So, not dissing on anyone. I mean, I've got friends that are diehard carburetor guys, and they work great. It's just for me as a business, I'm going to probably start pivoting more towards the CAN bus integrations. I just enjoy it. That's so much fun.
It's the challenge.
I love it. It's awesome. So,
That's another thing. Tell a redneck it can't be done.
yeah. Yeah. I'm one of those, I will freaking die trying, but I'm going to figure it out. I'll put everything I can into it to figure it out. And so far I have. Like that truck, 70 plus modules on board, not a single one's complaining about what I did. They all think it's the factory transmission control module. So
Things that everyone said couldn't be done.
it's literally the first 5th gen Ram in the nation or on the planet that is doing this.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that's where I'm probably going to go towards. I'm going to start working more on CAN bus integrations. And there's some other products I want to bring back the wideband stuff. I pulled the wideband stuff from my website and whatever for a little bit because of the chip shortage. The chips I was using to make that thing, everyone else uses them too, and they went like I couldn't get them. There was no way. They became kryptonite. I couldn't get the stupid things. So they are coming back to market though now. At least the chips are. So my thought is to remake it and also do it over CAN bus, because most of the modern stuff, it's over CAN bus, so you don't have a voltage offset for like trying to get a 0 to 5 volt to every module and not have a voltage offset where it changes the output of the wideband reading. It's pretty bad. So you can do, everyone's going CAN bus and having it just CAN bus into a module, so that way you don't have to worry about any kind of voltage offsets. So that's going to be coming back to market at some point. The CAN bus, mainly right now it's the CAN bus stuff. So I've had a lot of inquiries about how I did that. More information about how CAN bus works or whatever, which I will be bringing maybe Sky on the next one, and he and I will talk about more in depth about what we are currently working on. But that's my next big come to market piece. So besides that, it's the builds and just doing dumb things.
That pretty much sums everything up is
Yeah.
dumb things, just
Yeah.
because we can.
Yep. Yeah. It's yeah. But yeah, I hope you guys understand. We both have, like, you understand. We both have wives and kids and jobs and busy
Full-time
lives.
jobs with
Yeah.
overtime, and then still trying to get side projects done is,
Is a lot
let alone being able to set down time aside from everything else to even
to
sit
do
down
a
and do a
podcast.
podcast.
So yeah, it's been busy. It's been real busy, but
Yeah, we're what, 3.5 hours away from each other?
Yeah,
We've been
3.5.
talking about doing this since February, March,
March. I'd say March for
and
sure.
we're now into November and
we're finally doing
having
it.
time.
I would have done it probably in August, but I forgot to bring the equipment up when I came up to visit.
Yeah,
So,
it's-
and this is from August to now, this was the next time I was able to make it up. So that's why we're doing this podcast now. But yeah, so I wanted to bring the podcast, like, I'm actively trying to make my schedule open up to where I could do even more remote call-in type deals or whatever with the podcast and open the podcast back up. But yeah. So
Even in my case, I don't even have a laptop at home to video chat over. I've got my cell phone. That's
yeah.
it.
So, which I've got software that would probably work on a cell phone, so we're probably gonna have you on more often.
Perfect.
So, but yeah. So anyone wondering if I fell off the face of the earth, definitely with my YouTube following, because I've got 1,800 subscribers on YouTube now. But yeah, I haven't fallen off the face of the earth. I've just been busy.
That number's going to drop with me on here. You know that, right?
It is what it is.
You're going to lose
I'm having
subscribers over
fun.
this deal.
I'm having fun, but yeah, no, I'm literally, like, my mind is just jumping between stuff. So I apologize again if this podcast is literally all over the board, but yeah, me and Darren have done some crazy stuff. We've done each other again since high school. 4-wheeler, my original. I don't know if you and I knew each other back when I had the turbo truck.
No.
The S10, the Blazer.
I was there for the S10 and the Blazer. The turbo truck was deturboed
turboed
by the time we started
other.
hanging out.
Yeah. But yes, remember you and I, your White Ranger, me and the S10.
Yeah.
Oh, that was
there was
fun.
no back road that was safe.
Yeah.
Just
He had an advantage. He had a limited slip in that Ranger, and I had an open rear.
yeah.
We were high school kids. But it was awesome.
Just like everything else I seem to own, I blew the motor up, threw head gaskets in it.
Yep.
And that's how I originally met Dale. I was having head gasket
Yes.
issues in the old 234.
Yep. And
And-
you put the Mustang cam. I used to have a Fox Body Mustang that I totaled. Rolled it nose to tail like 2.5 times, landed on its roof. It's a long story. Pretty much hit a patch of black ice about a week before I was going to take it off the road. Regardless, I believe I got that cam out of it for you, didn't I?
You gave me the whole head.
Oh yeah, that's right. I got the whole head off that motor and gave it
Yeah.
to you for the Ranger.
But even back in high school, I was having head gasket issues. They're like, you got to talk to Dale. So I told him what was going on, and he's like, guaranteed you pull the head off. It's blown between cylinder 1 and cylinder 2.
Yep.
He's like,
Because
I've
they
got a
all did
stack
it.
of these head gaskets hanging on the wall of the garage.
Yep.
And I'm
They all
thinking,
did it.
okay, so I pulled the head off. Sure enough, it was blown between 1 and 2. It was swapping compression.
Yep.
So me being a broke high school kid, working a dishwashing job
both
in a nursing home, I just threw another head gasket in. It made it less than 2,000 miles and blew
And
out
blew it
again.
again.
So at that point, I tore the motor completely out. I did pistons, rings, bearings, grabbed the head from Dale,
Yep.
got it all put back together, and
Beat
Just
the
beat
ever-living
and
crap
beat and
out
beat
of
it.
that thing.
I sold it to a guy with the promise that I had the opportunity to buy it back.
Yeah.
And one day I showed up in a local junkyard, and there it sat.
Yep.
Hood wouldn't open anymore, so I'm sure he ran it without it doing another oil change.
Probably.
And I got to fire it
That was
up.
a shame.
I got to fire it up and brick it.
Yeah.
Because I built it, I brought it into this world in the condition it was in. I wanted to take it out.
Take it out.
And I bricked it till it was out of fuel.
Yeah.
And I couldn't kill it.
Yeah.
So
That was an awesome truck.
I've been wanting
I'll
to
miss
find
that
another
thing.
one, I'd love to do a turbo LS build and a first or second gen Ranger just for the sake of doing it.
I would love to find a first gen just to bring it back to the roots.
I actually have doors, grill,
Yes.
and fenders
All
for a
it-
first gen upstairs in the garage.
Yep.
So
Yeah,
that's
dude.
about all the farther I got with it.
Yeah.
You know, wife, kids, buying a house. You run out of time, run out of money doing,
Yep.
you know, doing the family thing. But
Yeah. Once kids get older, we'll have more time.
yeah, that one's on my bucket list.
Yeah.
Just once again, cheap thrills.
Yep.
Throw it together, beat on it, have fun.
Yep. And that was like my S10. I started out technically my first S10 was the '98. You remember?
Yeah, the black.
the black with the flame, the the weekend flame job.
Yeah.
Because I had to paint over the pot leaf camo that was on it.
Yep.
I bought the truck for $500. You at $500, you don't ask questions. You just like okay. and
Yeah,
just
you
go
buy
with
it and run it.
Yep. I blew it with I bought it with two blown brake lines, so I put brake lines on it, and got it running. That was the truck I learned how to tune on too.
Yeah.
So, started with HP tuners and learned how to tune on that one on my own, just self-taught using HP tuners forum, back when forums were a thing, and yeah, I did that one. Which the truck I have now is a first gen. It's not a second gen, but I grew up. My dad had a first gen black. His was an extended cab S10 growing up that he V8 swapped, and I grew up in that thing. So I've always had a soft spot for the first gens.
And
would
he
be-
did that was back before the V8 swaps were really even a thing.
Yeah, they were starting to pick up popularity, but not a lot. That was a long time ago, but yeah, it'd be awesome if we can get you a first gen, because you and I would have first gen mini trucks
Yeah.
going.
The mini truck scene is coming back with the Ford Maverick from what I'm seeing now. I know I'm regretting saying that out loud, but you know, there's a
Yeah.
lot of people that are doing a lot of stuff to them.
There is.
You know, they kind of brought the budget truck back into the world, even though it's
Yeah,
all-wheel drive or front-wheel drive.
Yeah.
It's more of a Honda Ridgeline than I would call it a truck. But
yes, it's a unibody. It's a unibody truck. There's no frame rail on
Yep.
that thing.
But it brought
But-
the size back down.
Yep. And I know a lot of Audi manufacturers went larger trucks, but the mini truck's still a thing. It's still popular. That's
Yep.
why the Tacoma had such a long, good sales history, because they kept the smaller, which the later model Tacomas are getting larger. But
Yeah, the trucks just keep getting bigger. I've got an '09 Tacoma,
Mm-hmm.
which I had to have the 4-door when I bought it, knowing I was probably going to have kids. And
Yep.
Yeah, I had a kid, ran out of room in that, so we ended up buying a 15 Tundra Crew Max as well,
Yeah.
just for the size.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah, they're getting bigger.
Yeah.
I like my small trucks. It's always been a fan of mine, and the reason I'm building the square body into a drift truck's just from what you and I used to do with our little trucks, drifting on dirt roads. I want to do it on pavement now, but that's what we started doing when we were kids. It's amazing we didn't get caught. Oh my
Caught,
Lord.
arrested, licenses pulled.
The stuff we
pushing-
used to do.
I didn't even have power steering.
I remember.
That's
Yeah, and the reason you got farther sideways than I always, it was because of the posi.
Yeah.
I was doing everything I could. I didn't have a posi, and it was a 7.5. We were both high school kids. We didn't have a lot of money, at all.
There was no money for upgrades on my end. It was
Me
just
either.
fix what I break.
Yep.
And
drive it.
hope that I had enough money to fix what I broke.
Yeah. Yeah, it was. But there was so much fun. That's a lot of the city kids just have no idea how it is to grow up. Yeah, a lot of people say there's nothing to do in the country, but it's no,
There's plenty to
there's
do.
more than enough to do in the country than the city.
You just got to hope the cops aren't in your area when you're doing it.
Exactly. And thankfully, we normally live out far enough away that it's not a problem.
I got my first speeding ticket in that little white truck. I was on my way to school, and I was in third gear running late, and the shifter itself came off in my hand.
Yes, I remember this.
So, I'm in third gear with a gutless 4-cylinder trying to slip the clutch and get myself going. Well,
this.
when I had the opportunity to get after it, I did. So, us being in a rural high school, it's in a town.
Yep.
And the cop followed me the whole way until I was in front of the school.
Mm-hmm.
And then flicked his lights on to make an example out of me.
Yeah.
I mean, we knew each other on a personal level. And he's like, yeah, I'm going to make an example out of you. Good luck. And then he started writing.
Yeah.
they considered the entire town at that time a school zone because there was 2 schools, one on each end of town, and I was right between them when he caught me.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, Charlie, if you're listening, I learned. Not much, but I did learn.
Yeah. Oh my.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to be listening, thankfully.
Probably not. But no, we did so much stuff and we got away with somehow.
Yeah, that was
Crazy.
cherry bomb side exit
Yeah.
because why not? It was cheap
Yep.
and loud. Air horns on a push button just to annoy people.
Which all that stuff's high school kid level stuff. But
Yeah.
once we got out of high school, like the Ninja 4-wheeler and my builds and whatnot, it's like that's where the whole twisted builds idea came from. Is like we do the stuff that everyone says not to or says it can't be done.
Yeah.
Or like we're twisted in the head for even thinking about it, which is the whole twisted builds thing. But
There's definitely something wrong with both of us.
there's a lot of screws probably loose, but we have a pile of fun.
That's why I'm afraid to go into a psychiatrist or anything. They're going to tell me what's wrong, and I don't want to know.
I don't want to know either.
Ignorance is bliss.
Uh-huh. But, all right, I think we'll call it there. But
Yeah.
It's been an awesome run, and we're going to do a lot more.
I'm ready to see where the next step goes. My wife's got a 98 Mustang that she learned how to drive manual in. That she wants to keep a 4.6 in. I personally want to go big
LS.
horsepower, turbo LS, just because I know that's where it's going to end up. Why waste the time with another 4.6 when you know you're just going to kill it?
Yeah.
So, but that's on my project list. I've got some work to do on the Tacoma because there's always work to be done. I took my Ninja powered 4-wheeler to West Virginia basically on a dare. They told me it wouldn't last. Everybody that I went down with, they were threatening to not strap it down, let it bounce down I-79 on the way there.
Yep.
And, they were all putting money down that it was going to be the first thing to break down because it's this home-built conglomeration that shouldn't work. And we were 2 miles into the trails, and we had a brand new Polaris blow a coolant line. So I'm doing donuts around them just as a big old screw you.
Yeah.
And I ended up burning the clutches out of it. I wasn't geared low enough, so I blew the head gaskets. I broke a grade 8 motor mount bolt, and the fuel tank started leaking by day 3. So I parked
But
it.
at least made it to day 3.
It made it to day 3 on Rock House, which is the roughest trails you can find down there.
Yeah.
So I brought it home, I parked it, and that's where it sat.
Yeah, we gotta get that going again.
Other projects came along, keeping the wife and kid going.
Yep.
So
Life happens.
it's on the to-do list. Bring it back.
I would love to fuel inject that thing.
I've
Just to tick people off.
Yeah,
That'd be awesome.
it'd be your computer madness, and
Probably.
as a machinist,
Yeah, probably put a micro squirt on it, and micro squirt with built probably like it's either CNC or just fabricate. I got a TIG welder now. We can probably TIG like between CNC, the flanges and whatnot, and TIG weld. We could probably make an intake manifold for that thing.
Yeah.
and fuel inject it.
yeah, the pod filters just don't.
Yeah,
They just don't cut it. The carburetors they leak through if you don't shut the fuel off. The floats are
Yep.
sticking, so.
but
you end up
imagine how much power is being left on the table.
Yeah.
compared to what we could do with that thing.
Yeah,
So-
where it's at now, we actually trailered it down to the last sloppy dyno day, which I seen they're having another one.
They're having another one. I do want to go.
I think it's what?
The 20th.
Yeah.
November 20th. Oh, this is probably going to come out this week. We're recording on the 6th.
Yeah.
Yes. So, yeah, it's coming. November 20th is the next one. So,
I
like to
don't
go.
think I don't think I can make it down. I used to not miss them.
yeah.
He
he drove
spring and fall, 6.5, 7 hours each way.
He would meet me. We'd grab the Firebird and we'd go down.
Yeah.
and then I'd race hell. And then, not a lot of hell, but, everyone that went there.
You had fun.
Had fun. Cops were called, the whole shebang.
Yeah.
Which I know got out of hand. That's why Matt stopped doing them. But, and regardless, we'd get done, go back, and then you'd follow me home, and then you'd finish the rest of the way back. Because
Yeah.
from my house, it's 3.5, 4 hours. So, yeah, it was a long haul for you.
Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna make it to this one, sadly, but I'd like to go back again. At least this time, I'd have a nice ride down. I've been down in a '96 Ranger that should have been off the road 2 years prior.
Yeah.
A '95 Chevy cop car
Yep.
that I was planning on putting on the dyno, and then coming home and doing a turbo LS build on.
It rusted out, though.
And the floor plans rusted out. It had 380,000 miles on it. It was my wife's daily driver at the time.
Yeah.
You know, just, yeah.
Yeah.
I'd like to make it back. But I did end up trailering the four-wheeler down. And I think I laid down 47 horsepower on a 2,500-pound roller.
Yep.
So
With a four-wheeler.
With a four-wheeler. I had to have Dale on one front tire and
Yep.
Matt on the other front tire.
We were both standing on it then to keep it down.
Just to keep the front end down.
Because he's trying to move a 2,500-pound roller with a four-wheeler.
Yeah. But I
was
made more than a
hysterical.
Geo Metro, so
You
I
did
was
make
happy.
more than Geometry that day.
I was happy with that result.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, that thing, it's cobbled together.
You know, turbo technology's come a long way, right?
I've considered.
Because if we go fuel injected, we could turbocharge that little Ninja 600 and really make her scream.
I need to.
You got to put head gaskets in it anyway.
Yeah, I need to figure out a different way to route the exhaust because right now it all runs underneath with a factory header.
Yeah.
And the riding it on the trails has absolutely annihilated, tore the exhaust open.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, we could just run the exhaust around the side of it, put it in a turbo, then run it out the back like a motorcycle.
I think we can run it right out the front underneath where I have the radiator mounted.
That would work.
And mount a turbo and everything right up there and just straight dump it down.
That would work. Oh, it might get warm on your legs. We'll have to.
It already
out.
does.
Yeah,
it already does.
That's true.
But
yeah, no, we got stuff cooking. It's just again, family guys now.
Yeah.
We got a lot on our plates, but we're still going. I'm not dead yet. Things are happening.
Slowly but surely pick away at things.
So.
What's Matt say? 20 minutes a day?
Yep.
An hour a day? Whatever you can put towards it.
Yep.
Every little bit of progress is still progress. So
yep, and that's something I try to do too, even like with the Firebird and whatnot. Even though the full send diesel stuff's been consuming my life, it's almost over. I can finally see the light at the end of the tunnel of that one. So I'll be back to the Firebird for a bit, just to get it to where it's ready for this next drift season, and then back to the S10. So there will be, again, I'm a terrible YouTuber. It's been since January. I'm aware of that since I posted my last update. My last update was posting that I had the benchtop mill and lathe.
yeah.
So it's been a long time. But yeah, so I do plan on putting out more videos. It's just the dead spell this whole summer was because of the Full Send project. That literally consumed my life. But once that's done, my plan is to get you guys more content. I will be bringing the CAN bus stuff to market, and we'll just keep having podcasts. I want to have you back on again. I've got software now that you can download on your phone to remote in, so we're going to have more remote in podcast guests and go from there.
Yeah, before you know it, you'll be having the guys from customer states on, and
Mike wants to come on, one of them, so we'll probably have that done at some point. He's got good gear, obviously.
yeah,
So,
that'll be a good episode.
but yeah. All right, man. Hey,
Hey,
nice
good
having
seeing
you
you as
on.
well, and
So, until next time.
yeah, have a good one.
Thank you guys for listening. As we've always said, subscribe, like. I'm on all of the podcast stations and on YouTube, obviously. So, thank you guys for listening, and have a good one.